Hello again. This is obviously problem 9 on the 4th page down. And we've got this guy Quincy doing something with his money like we did with the basketball. Well, we're going to discuss that swapping idea again. Put some money in a 3% account and a different amount at 8%, and he earned $200 interest. If he had swapped those investments, in other words, if he took the amount of money he put in the 3% and instead put that amount in the 8 and vice versa, he would have gotten $350 in interest. So we'll start with the idea that A will be the dollars actually put into the 3%, and B will be the dollars actually put into the 8% account. So 3% of A, 0.03A, that's the interest from the 3% investment, plus 8% of B, that would be the interest from the 8% investment, would add up to the actual total interest of $200. Now, if he switches these amounts, if he takes A dollars and puts it in the 8% instead, and B dollars and puts it in the 3% instead, we don't have to switch the letters. We can just switch the interest rates. Now he's getting 8% of the A dollars interest, but only 3% of the B dollars interest. And that comes out to actually more interest, $350 in interest. Now we have the system set up, and we can make this a 0.24 and a negative 0.24. So it does ask for how much was invested at each rate. We need both A and B. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do negative 8 times this top equation. And that would make that negative 0.24A and negative 0.64B equals negative 1600. Negative 8 times the top equation. And then positive 3 times the second equation. That'll make positive 0.2. Good time for a pencil to break. Positive 0.24A. Positive 0.09B. And 3 times 350, that's 1050. Time to switch pencils here. Excuse me a second. Now when we add, the A's disappear. Use the calculator here. 0.64, negative 0.64 plus 0.09, get negative 0.55B. And this would come out negative 550, and just divide 550. Whoops. 550 divided by 0.55, or negative 550 divided by negative 0.55, get 1,000. Oh. In what really happened was he put in the 8% account he put $1,000. We don't have a total amount invested like we did in the other problems of this type, but we need to plug this in to solve for A. So if I write 0.03A plus 0.08 times 1,000 equals 200, I can solve this. Let me get this separated. I'm going to solve this for A. So multiply that out, you get 80. Take away 80 from both sides, and you get 120. And so A would be 120 divided by 0.03, 4,000. So my real answer is 4,000 at 3% and 1,000 at 8%. Let's write that down over here. 4,000 at 3% and 1,000 at 8%. And if we check this, 3% of 4,000, that would be $120 interest, and 8% of $1,000, that's $80 interest. Notice that does add up to $200 interest. That takes care of that. And now, problem 10, another mixture problem. We're making 200 ounces of 50% acid by using what's on hand, 10% acid solution and 60% acid solution. If we use X and Y for the two ingredients, one equation based on the amount of acid, the acid from the 10% part will be 10% of the X ounces, and the acid from the 60% part will be 60% of the Y ounces, and that will be the total acid in the result. Now, what's the total acid in the result supposed to be? It's supposed to be 50% acid, 50% of 200 ounces total, so that would be 100 ounces. So there's one equation. And then, of course, the other equation's super easy to get. X plus Y is 200, making 200 ounces altogether. Now I'm going to take this and copy it. And what am I going to do to the other equation? I want to get opposites here, so I will take this equation and multiply by negative 0.10, and that'll make negative 0.10x, negative 0.10y equals negative 20. Then when we add, those disappear. I get 0.50y equals 80. And if you do 80 divided by 0.50, you get 160. And if you just pop that in there, 160 for y, 160 plus 40 would be 200. So the x is 400, would be 40. Rather, so 40 at 10% and 160. Make that look like a 60. 160 at 60%. Okay. Any problems with this? Remember, text me, call me, email me. Be happy to help. Take care.